For somebody who has spent the last 5 years living in vehicles in rural areas, you might be surprised to learn that I don't have a driving licence. Before I lived in vans and lived in Scotland, I lived in Newcastle upon Tyne, or like kind of on the outskirts of it, down by the coast. And there we have a really wicked metro system. You can literally jump on, jump off, and it takes you anywhere you need to go. On top of that, you've got buses that go everywhere. So I just never really needed to learn to drive. I remember when I was about 17, it might have been my 17th birthday, my parents offered me either the money for driving lessons or the money to just have. And being a really stupid teenager, I took the money. In hindsight, I should have learned to drive, but oh well, there we go, I didn't. I have tried a few times. I can remember I took a couple of lessons back when I lived in Newcastle, and I hated it. I found it so stressful, I found it overwhelming, I hated the whole thing. And again, when we lived in Aviemore, I bought a little automatic car and tried to learn to drive in that, and I did quite well. I went up and down some roads, but circumstances changed. We had to sell the car, we had to leave, and I just never really got around to it. And to be quite honest, I never really enjoyed it. So recently I decided to just embrace a life where I don't drive, and this is why I've become so in love with riding my bike. It's a way for me to get out and about, have a little bit of independence, go and off and do things by myself, get to the post office, get to the shop, go out for a coffee without having to rely on somebody to ferry me around. Obviously, I couldn't do it without Stephen and friends and people with cars who are willing to take me, when I need to go on long distances, when I need to go and do big food shops, etc., etc. Or even Stephen taking me on days out. Like, I would go insane if I didn't have that. But for me, my day-to-day life, I don't need to drive. My bike gets me to the places I need to be. Also, I love riding my bike because it keeps me civilised. Like, I'm an introvert and I like to hide away, and I can borderline be a hermit sometimes, but when I'm out on my bike I end up chatting to people, good morning, hello, hi, what are you doing, blah blah blah, and it keeps me in touch with society. Sometimes when I've been working in the caravan and then I head out on an afternoon bike ride, I will stop to chat to people in the village, and on the way there I've started to get to know some of the neighbours. But sometimes these are the only people I talk to because I work from the caravan. I hang out with my dog all day. These are the only little social interactions I get. So if I didn't ride my bike, I dread to think how introverted I would become. Anyways, today I'm doing a very quick ride. I think it's literally 4 minutes. I haven't cut this video at all, from the caravan at Glenmore campsite along to the shores, because I want to sit and watch the sun go down. And I think I had some ginger tea in my flask, no coffee. It's far too late for coffee, I won't sleep. But this is why I love this area so much. You literally just have to ride for 4 minutes and you can be in a beautiful little spot, just going through forest tracks, not touching a road at all. And I found it really strange, but I did not see one other person on this bike ride, even on the way back. I might have passed one walker, but yeah, so quiet, so strange. Where is everyone? So if you want to get into bike riding, I think one of the most important things is to love your bike. I've had bikes in the past that I just kind of bought because they were nearby or cheap or whatever, and I didn't love them, so I didn't ride them. If you want to get riding your bike every day, you gotta love it. And I love mine so much that I take so many photographs of it. I've perched it next to a tree here with the water in the background, and I'm shooting a good couple of shots on a roll of film. In fact, if you check my analog website, you'll see that I've got a whole gallery devoted to my bike. It's kind of sad, but I love it, man. Look at it, it's good looking. Today we're heading off to somewhere that we visited a few times before. It's a little hut in the woods that Now, excuse me because I'm not reading from any websites here. I'm doing this all off the top of my head. I've read about it all before, so I might have got a few things wrong. I think it was in the 50s, a guy called Mikel Utsi visited the Cairngorms and realised that the landscape was pretty ideal for reindeer. So he decided to bring a herd of reindeer over here and set them up here. And now they're still here. It's the UK's only free-range reindeer herd. But this was his hut that he would stay in while he tended to the herd up on the hill. I have seen the reindeer before. I was walking the dog a couple of years ago up on one of the car parks up the mountain, and they just appeared out of the mist and quietly wandered past me. It was really nice. In fact, I might have even had a little cry because it was a little bit magical. But they're very cute. You will see a clip of them later on in this video. But what a cute little hut, man. I think people might come and stay here still. It's got a little bed, a little table. That's it. No fires. You're not allowed fires here. But it's somewhere we like to stop and have a coffee on our walks through the forest. Coffee? Nice. I think it is. It's a little pooper. Oh. Did not know that was there. Oh, you fucking got it. Oh, what about this one? You're a maniac. If I'm not too out of breath, I'll tell you a couple of stories about spooky forest bike rides. Stephen was away for the night. I think he was visiting family in Newcastle. So I was alone at the caravan and we were pitched near a forest at that time. So I was like, oh, I'm going to go on a little sunset bike ride. I did, off out, just as it was getting dark. And I was like, oh, I'll be back in no time. Literally out in the middle of the forest, a nut fell off my pedals, like my fucking whole crank arm and my pedal fell off. I couldn't pedal back and I had to walk. I didn't have my bike light with me. I had to walk through this pitch black forest alone with no lights, just wheeling my bike along. It was fucking terrifying. I've also done that the opposite way around, where I try to go for like a sunset ride, but I set off far too early. Hang on, hill. I set off far too early and I ended up riding through the first part of the ride, which was through a thick forest with just my front light, and it was like a horror film. It was just this beam of light in front of me, darkness behind me, and the sound of my wheel coasting behind me was freaking me out. I was literally trying to pedal away from my own wheel. Stop talking now in case there's like campers or anything. There were no campers, and again, actually, there was nobody around. This is the quietest I've seen this area in a while. You'll recognise this spot from a previous video. This is where we brought Fox on the bike, and this is the seat where, if you look straight ahead, you can see the roof of the bothy that I never realised was there. Drank my coffee and rode back. It's light now. This is the campsite. This is Glenmore. That's reception in the cute little hut, and we'll take a little ride through. May as well show you around. We used to stay here in the motorhome back when we first started visiting the area. These pictures are alright. This is not the good bit. These are, I mean, they're decent, there's nothing wrong with them, but the pitches that I like to stay at are at the back in the forest. So if you do want to book, I would recommend picking a forest pitch, even though it's a little bit more expensive. That's the toilet and shower block on the left with those lovely push button showers. And we're cruising down, coming to the cute bit. We're actually leaving today, so I need to get back and start sorting out the caravan, doing our jobs, packing up, ready to get away. It doesn't take us long. We've got it down to like a good routine now. We've moved this caravan so often. There it is, and I am home. Told you they were cute pictures. So first job to get ready to pack up, all the breakables and things that will rattle and move around and fall off go in the sink. That's the safe zone. Then our little mini fridge gets put in a blanket fort, and we make sure the catch is closed on the big fridge. Got to close the little thingy to hold the ash pan in, because you'll regret it if that falls on the ground. Remove the gas bottle, that goes inside. Unplug the electric, put the cable inside. Don't leave it behind, that would be annoying. And then this one is important, close the pop top and latch it. You do not want your pop top to spring open while you're cruising down the motorway. I don't know what would happen, but it would be bad. Then we popped out to find some breakfast, and look, there's the reindeer and some babies going on a little morning walk. And a little bit of tree damage on the bus stop from the storm recently. Back now, we're winding up the legs. My bike goes in the caravan because Stephen's is too big with the basket, so that goes in the car. I swear to you, this is usually really easy. I don't know why I'm making it look so bloody hard. And then that's it. Then all we've got to do is hitch up the caravan to the car. The caravan is so light that we can manoeuvre it ourselves. I mean, I can pretty much swing it around by myself. Stephen does it really easily, but it's just such a light little caravan. Yeah. Yeah. And that's it. We've got a couple of hours, well, 3 hours-ish, back to the Isle of Skye. We're a bit slower when we're towing the caravan. So the next video will be back from our little pitch on the island.